not factor into real strategic relocation. I just had an opportunity in the year 2020 here to update strategic relocation to its 4th edition, especially in light of the crisis concerning the COVID-19 pandemic and the exaggeration of that pandemic and the shutting down of one's liberties, the shutting down of the economy and other unnecessary things to deal with a pandemic that really wasn't that deadly, especially to normal people with healthy immune systems. But in the process of revising strategic relocation, we discovered that a lot of the things that we had anticipated for a crisis in the book were still valid. That is, that population density areas are still your biggest threat in any crisis. And that's come true in COVID-19. The areas in red are the numbers of people. And so the more red that you see the higher population density. Look at this area from Boston all the way down towards Washington, D.C. It's a mass of red. That area is 1,000 people per square mile. In this COVID false pandemic, that's where they concentrate their efforts. That's where you lose your freedom. Well, if you look at the portion of the map on the southeast, for example, you see how bad Florida and why Florida is a 0-rated state. Florida has all of these red population areas, but there's only 2 ways out of the state, 2 highways out of the entire state, and they're going to be clogged. In this map here, for example, of the Midwest, North Central region, you can see the major populations areas, Chicago and Detroit and Cleveland dominate this area, and those areas are going to empty out mostly to the south, into the Midwest, into Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, and that's why these are not safe areas. And so you have to get further west where you see hardly any population centers in order to find some safety. This is called the Intermountain area, but the Intermountain area here is probably the safest area in the United States because of its distance from population centers. It's 500 miles from Denver. It's 700 miles from Los Angeles in that basin. It's 800 miles from Sacramento and 1,100 miles from Portland and Seattle. And there's virtually no way to get to these areas on foot because it's trackless deserts through either Nevada or the Arizona deserts or the southern Idaho and Oregon deserts, etc. That's what makes this the safest general area in the United States. And so we hope that you will be able to learn a lot about maneuvering to preserve your liberties by getting a copy of Strategic Relocation. They're available at InfoWars Store, which covers all of my books, including The Secure Home and The High Security Shelter, to help you to be able to prepare for future crises. So get your copy of Strategic Relocation, the all-new 4th edition, and my other books at InfoWarsStore.com. My name is Joel Skousen, author of Strategic Relocation. It's up to you to look out